Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and we are jumping right in today with our first craft. And I am showing you how, if you want to make a bunch of tiny wreaths, you can actually make them bigger too. You just have to join them together lengthwise. But you take some garland ties. You can get these packs of them anywhere. You can get them at Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart, lots of places. And I think they're usually packs of like 10. So you can get these, like I said, anywhere. You just take the garland ties and make a wreath shape. I always double them up and you just twist them together, add a little bow or anything really that you want to put on them. And just like that, you have a tiny little wreath that you can put anywhere on the backs of your chairs, on your smaller cabinets. But like I said, you can make larger ones too. You just twist them together to make a larger size wreath. Now this I want to show you. I wanted a red and white fancy, big fancy wreath. But big fancy wreaths sometimes come with a big $sign attached to them. Where I got this flocked wreath at Walmart for $12, and then I just got my own ribbon and my own ornaments and put them all together and made a really big, nice wreath. And to do it this way, like I said, you save a little bit of money, but you also get to make it exactly how you want. And I am not by any means a pro wreath maker, but you just work at it, and you, like I said, then you end up with a wreath that is exactly what you're looking for. And the nice thing about this is I've noticed that when you buy a big fancy wreath, a lot of the times the different decorations and stuff that are on them can sometimes be glued onto them. So this way, if you make your own and just use little ornament hooks, that's what I'm using. You can use pipe cleaners. You could use, depending on the wreath you have, those garland ties that we just used if you don't have a flocked wreath that you're working with. You can put it together this way, and that way, if say next year or the year, whenever, if you want to change it to something else, you can easily take it apart and then redo it into a different style, where sometimes that's not always possible when you buy one that's already decorated. Now, the biggest tip I can tell you when it comes to decorating a wreath like this is, obviously, as you can see, like I'm working on it, you get it all situated how you want it, but every once in a while, and you'll see me do it, is you want to take it and at least like stand it up, because your wreath's going to be hanging, so you want to see what it looks like when it's hanging, because that's how it's going to be, not just laying flat. So definitely stand it up every so often so that you can make adjustments, which I definitely had to do. But yeah, you can make yourself a big, nice, full wreath with not as much dollars, or if you do end up putting the same amount of money as it would be to maybe purchase one, you still get to have it customized to exactly what you want. And then, like I said, then you leave yourself the option to take it apart and do something different with it another year, another season. If you want to transfer it maybe and just turn it into a winter one after Christmas is over, or if you still, you can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of doing it yourself.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new, 'cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me.
Now you can see here that this is a wreath that I had purchased from Dollar General last year, the year before. I've had it, I want to say, for at least 2 years. But since I'm doing a red and white theme, spoiler alert for the next video, I wanted to bring that into this wreath a little bit. Not as much as the other one, but a little bit. So now I'm just removing the pine cones that were on it. And honestly, I was shocked once I took the pine cones out about how big and bare it was underneath where these big pine cones were. But, and I'm not gonna lie, they were kind of buggers to get out of there. I don't have the best wire cutters, nippers, whatever either, but so I just took the pine cones out. I did save them though, in case like I said, I decide to put things back or change things around. But I'm just adding a few red and white ornaments to it just to bring a little bit of that theme into one. So that's another idea for you too, is if you do have purchase an already pre-decorated one, sometimes you can adjust them a little bit. It just kind of all depends on how they were put together. There were a little bit of glue on my pine cones, but it wasn't bad, and mostly they were just with some thick wire really put in there. But yeah, and like I was, you may be a little surprised with what it looks like under those ornaments too, or under those, yeah, whatever you remove from it, like I was with the pine cones. It was pretty sparse under there, but in the end it turned out okay.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all, from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close to you.
Now this was a swag, I guess you would call it, that I made last year. I had just taken 2 picks, and the big, like a large pick, and I had put them together and wrapped them with one of those garland ties in the back, put a bow on it, called it a day. Well, I wanted to jazz it up a little bit more this year. So these picks that I had used last year, as you saw, also had pine cones on them. There was one hiding back there that I get rid of. But so I removed the little pine cones, and then I'm just adding a little bit of extra picks to the ends of it, just to bring a little bit of that red and white, a little bit more of that into this swag. So this was a pretty quick one now. But like I said, you can just take 2 picks like I had and just, use your imagination. And I don't even consider myself that super creative, not like some people, my goodness. But I'm like jealous of their thought process, I guess, and how they see things and can create things and come up with all these ideas. But so I'm just here with you to share a little bit of what I did. But yeah, I just added a couple more picks of the red and white just to bring a little bit more of that theme. Get rid of the pine cones. Did keep them because then we can always change them or add to stuff later. But that's all I did with that one. Now this is the big project of the day. It was actually a multiple day project for me. But so I got this piece of wood. I wanted a very large sign. And 1, I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for. And 2, sometimes large signs also come with a pretty heavy price tag. So I was like, you know what? I have borrowed my mom's Cricut machine a little while ago. And I was like, I bet I can make one. So I went to my local store and got a piece of wood. It cost me like $9. And I got some craft paint. And I am painting it red right now, obviously, as you could see. Now, it did take, I think it was like 6 coats. It really sucked in that paint. I didn't sand it or do anything to it. I picked through the wood to find a really nice piece that I wasn't going to have to fiddle with. Because that was really not something I didn't want to feel. I really didn't feel like getting that involved and have to sand it down and stuff. But so I painted it and I did all the coats. I didn't figure you needed to see clips of me painting every single red coat. Once you see it, you see it. And then I wanted to do a candy cane striped look around, like on the edge of it, on the sides, I guess you would say. I don't know how to describe that. But I took painter's tape and went around and I'd put a piece of painter's tape on and then I would use another piece as a spacer and then add another piece and then pull the spacer out. That way I would have evenly spaced stripes the whole way around the piece of wood. Now, hindsight, I would probably bring this border up onto like the front face of the sign, because unfortunately hanging it on the wall, you can't really see the edge as much as, I don't really know what I was thinking there, but you can't really see it that well. I like that it's there. It makes it look more finished, but I probably would have brought it around and painted a little bit of like a candy cane striped frame around it, if you will, on the face of it. But, they say hindsight's 20/20. So learn from my mistake. I would bring it around a little bit personally. But I just went ahead and taped around the whole board. It was a little tedious and time consuming to do this, but worth it in the end. Now what I'm doing here is I did lay a piece of painter's tape on the face of the board because I didn't want it to, I wanted to have a nice clean line there also. Now what I'm doing now is if you take the same color of what the background is and paint a layer of that paint over where you've taped, that way if there's any seepage or leaking or whatever through the, like where you taped off, it's just your base color, so it's fine. And so, yeah, it kind of like seals the edges of the painter's tape, if you will, so that there's no leaking then when I go back to do the white, I end up with nice, crisp, clean lines because you've already sealed like the edges of the paint down with the red color. Now, I do end up with a little bit of leakage, even though I did do that painting the base color first, and that is because, as you can see, I was painting up towards that top piece of tape, and I only did it for not very far there. And you can see it like clicks in my brain. I'm like, I should probably not be painting up because I'm going to get up under that tape if there's any little bit of lift there. So I started painting down and then it was fine. So where I was painting up, I did end up with a little bit of white on top that I had to, on the front of it, if you will, that I had to touch up. But yeah, if you're doing this project, just paint down and you'll be fine.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey. Yeah. The snowman's dusting off his hat, on the show for everybody, to give them a smile that lasts another year. There's something that happens when sleigh bells are ringing, when December ends, when the children are singing, yeah. Merry Christmas, baby.
Alright, it is time to put the words on that I printed on my Cricut. I just printed it on permanent vinyl white, and I went into the fonts and I searched Christmas, and then I found this one and I was like, oh my goodness, that is so perfect. So I picked that one and that's what I used. And I only show putting candy on because if you've used a Cricut before, I know people it is easy, but it can be a bugger when you're trying to transfer it, and it was for me. And if you stick to the end of this, you'll see the bloopers, outtakes, whatever you want to call it, at the end, because I had to include them because it's pretty funny. And you'll actually then be able to see it real time and hear me struggling with getting this put onto the board. And if anybody even says to me, okay, I am doing candy cane, and I know it's one word, it's two words, it's one word, it's two words. I made it as one word. Please don't point that out to me if you're someone that feels that it should be two words. I'm aware. Please, this was this whole thing together gave me a run for my money and took way longer. I had issues with the Cricut program on my computer. It was just a long process. I decided to make candy cane one word. Let's just leave it at that.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's Merry Christmas, baby. Yeah. It's Merry Christmas, baby.
Now I had gotten these little wooden ornaments, is what they are, but they're wooden, they're very cute, very nice. I got them at Walmart. The whole pack was maybe $5, and there was a good bit of them in there. I didn't even use remotely what there was. and I just hot glued them onto the front of my sign. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I will be taking an electric, it's an electric staple gun slash pin nail gun. You can put either of it in there. I believe we picked this up at Harbor Freight quite a while ago, and honestly I forgot I had it, but it was cheap. It was only like $15, I'm pretty sure, when we picked it up. And this is the first time I've ever used it, so you'll see a little bit on with the bloopers on that too. But I just took some string that it's kind of like it's more of like a yarn than a string, this is, but I tied off the ends in a double knot, and then I staple it above that. That way, if it would pull through a little bit, even though the staples are in there really tight, it really put them in there tight. But just in case, I still knotted the bottom of it. It just seemed like a good idea to me. And that's how I finished it off. So I know this was, I didn't, do a whole opening or whatever, if you will, at the beginning of this video, but if you guys are new, I'm so glad you're here. If you're returning, of course I'm happy that you're here too. We did it, guys. We got over 100 subscribers, and I am so excited to see, how many more we can get. We can keep this moving. I'm so excited, and I thank you all so much for being here and watching me and subscribing and all the things. I really appreciate it more than you will ever know. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and there's still more to come. Final shots, like I said, you should probably watch the blooper reel. I think it's I included it in this video because I thought it was funny. And just to show you that just, when you watch a craft video, it doesn't mean that the person didn't struggle too, just because it might look like it was easy peasy on YouTube. It's not always necessarily the case. Looks can be deceiving. But if you haven't subscribed already, I please, encourage all the things you to do so. Join our family here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below. I'd love to get to know all you guys. Doing all these things really helps my channel because it tells YouTube that you like the video, and it puts it out there for more people to see. The more people that interact with my videos, the more that YouTube will push my video for me. So it really helps me out. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, the next video will be actually seeing all these projects in my actual room, decorating them, seeing them go with the whole theme. And yeah, I'm just so happy that you guys are here. I will see you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye. Come on. Oh my goodness. Easy. Dang it! Swear to God. Yeah. No, no. Stick for the love of God. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Oh my goodness gracious. Get off the bloody tape. So excited, I have 2 more of these to do. If everybody doesn't tell me how freaking adorable this looks, I don't even know. Oh, you are my favorite letter. Don't let anybody tell you different. Oh! What's going on? No!
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree.